Hello, hello, Leo. Welcome to your mid-2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Leo. And before we get into anything, go ahead and take a moment to subscribe, hit the bell if you want to know when readings come out. I'd really appreciate it. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you're interested in more readings, more content, more good stuff. Go ahead, while I'm shuffling and laying this spread down, I'd like you to take a deep breath into your diaphragm. Just tune in. If there's a specific intention you want to set on this reading, you're more than welcome to do that now. I'm going to lay this out and then we'll get started. Okay, everybody, so this reading that I'm doing is very different than anything I've ever done before. I've been doing a lot of readings lately, so I'm trying to take it easy, or I hope you enjoy this format, just because it's a little bit different. So let's go ahead and dive in. First thing coming up for you is nature. So what is helping you get grounded? And even if you live like in the middle of a big city, it's something that you can still kind of weave into your life. Maybe it's houseplants, maybe it's going to a park, maybe it's getting out of the city sometimes. Whatever is available and accessible to you. This is something where maybe spending a little bit more time in nature or doing things that can help ground you, because that's what nature really does for us. I think collectively is it helps ground us. And so that's kind of what this is painting a picture of, is that the important thing is to stay in your body, remain grounded, and that's going to be a big help to you. And then we also have divine timing. Everything is timing and timing is everything. Gladly, I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing. It can take a long time to reach divine middle management. Okay, so try to be patient. Don't rush yourself. There's literally no hurry on any of this. It's happening as much as it possibly can as you're giving effort. So try not to have unrealistic expectations, but instead enjoy the pace that things are going. And then we have undergrowth. More has been achieved than is visible to the eye. The real magic is under the surface of your assumptions. The situation is supported by invisible nourishment. Give thanks. I really like this card. It just has such a good message of like, you've done a lot of work. Don't think that all of the work that you've put in is being squandered away. It is actually working for you, even if you don't see it quite yet. A lot of the time, changes that you make are incremental. It's not the flip of a switch. It's slowly over time, and the only way you can really see it is if you look back and reflect on previous stretches of time. Now, the three cards here in the center, this is going to act as your central energy. Now, what I want you to do is only pick one. It's very important that you only pick one, because if you don't, you're going to get conflicting info. So just go ahead, tune in to one of these three cards here in the center. If you need some more time, you're welcome to pause the video. But I'm going to go ahead and flip over card number one. So if you picked this one, we have the Lovers. So this is connection. This is a really good card if you're interested in romantic relationships, maybe building a partnership with somebody, or getting into a relationship, meeting that right person. This is an awesome energy to bring into the second half of 2019. But a little bit more broadly speaking, this is saying relationships really matter. So I'm getting like the connections that you make, the people that you surround yourself with. Pay attention to community. That's the big thing that's coming up here, is it's going to help you get things moving, and it's also going to help your manifestations roll in as you start calling in that right network of people and those right connections. And then we have Page of Wands. So if this is your card, then this is all about evaluation. So you're going to need to go through this next half of 2019 with a fine-tooth comb. The important thing here with the Page of Wands is you don't want to put the cart before the horse. This is important so you can go through, revise, edit, make any tweaks necessary, evaluate what are your desires, what are you building, what are you wanting to create, and that's the important thing to focus on. If you're in a place where you're trying to rush, like with this divine timing card, it's kind of like you're going to build something that is out of alignment, and that's not going to work. It's like you're going to build and then have to change direction later on. So be proactive, go through, revise, edit, and make necessary tweaks, evaluate what it is that you're wanting, needing, desiring to build. And that's going to be a better place to create structure from. And then we also have the Seven of Cups. Options, options, options. There are just a lot of different directions to go. Not a bad thing. This can show up as an abundance of opportunity. This can also be something where it might just be you're taking a little bit too much, you're putting too much emphasis on the right next move when really you just need to make a move. That can be another energy that's brought through with this card. So you might want to check in with yourself. Are you stunting yourself, or are you getting in your own way based on, well, there's a lot of different decisions I could make, so if I make one wrong move, then I'm gonna screw everything up and go down the wrong path. Remember that that's not real. That's actually just an illusion. That's fear-based and is trying to keep you complacent. The important thing that you're going to want to do is challenge that part of yourself, challenge that voice, so that you can just make an attempt and move in some sort of direction. You're going to waste a lot of time if you're sitting and thinking about what the right thing is every time you're trying to make a decision, make a choice, pick between a few different options. So it's better to, be mindful, pay attention to what's going on with you, but don't get so caught up in the micro decisions that you end up wasting a lot of your own time. So that's just kind of like the strategy that's sitting underneath this card. Now, this is what you have shifting out in this second half of the year. We have the Chariot. It looks like things were really unstable, because that's one of the primary things that comes along with the Chariot, is a sense of instability, or like you're moving really quickly and things are progressing, but it feels really unstable. And so it's a kind of like maybe white knuckling things and trying to get things going. This is also your own internal resistance, because you have the divine timing card on the table, and also the undergrowth. This is painting a picture over here that you're probably thinking that you need to be somewhere other than where you are in the moment. And my interpretation is that no, things are working. You have done a lot of work. You have come really far. Things are working in the way that they need to. The Chariot is saying that internal resistance of like, oh, well, I thought I'd be farther by now, or I thought I'd have these 50 things instead of where I'm at in this moment. And try to shift and transform that energy so you can just look at your successes as being what's propelling you forward, and to easily move forward rather than move forward while you're talking down to yourself. Okay, the oncoming energy is the Knight of Swords. So this is like what I was saying about decision making and like being able to move forward swiftly and easily. And this is a far less control freak card or perfectionist card. The Knight of Swords isn't worried about perfection. The Knight of Swords is worried about, or is concerned with, alignment and moving forward regardless of what other people's expectations are. So this is about carrying forward an energy that's really helping you go against the grain in all the right ways, if that makes sense. So let me clarify this. Eight of Wands. So this is fast-paced. Now, what I'm getting is that even if you picked the Page of Wands here, which is like really methodical, wanting to go through and with a fine-tooth comb, The Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords is saying when you feel that click into place, like you really get in touch with your desires or you are really clear about what you want, that's when you can really start taking action. But the point is you have to show up. You can't sit on your hands and expect it to happen, right? That's not reasonable or realistic. So the Knight of Swords is just saying, yes, you are going to pick up the pace. Things are going to move faster. Things are going to improve. But you want to make sure that you're really clear-headed in your approach and the way you're doing that. So it's all about just getting clear internally and then not spending so much time contemplating if something is right. It's just about tune up the internal and then you're going to be able to move forward. Okay, and then this card down here, this is what you need to know. But if you want to set an intention right now, maybe on a specific area of your life, you're more than welcome to. But we have the Star. Beautiful. So this is like everything's working out as it needs to. This is also a card that can be kind of frustrating because it doesn't show you what pace it's moving. The Star is saying you better trust. You have to trust that the work that you're doing, all of the things that you've put effort into, all of the things you're working on manifesting are paying off, but you don't get to peek around each and every corner. And I know that sounds crazy coming from a psychic, but that's kind of the deal. There's some information that we just can't know and that we don't have permission to see because there's a lot of stuff that needs to work out first and a lot of adjustments that need to be made so you can access the stuff you want. Then we have the Ten of Wands. You might need to delegate or set something aside because this is the overwhelm card. So if you feel like you're getting really trapped in doing it all or wanting it all, maybe put a few things on the back burner. It could even be a reflection of all the things you want: the house, the job, the partner, the friend group, the ideal family. You might actually just be asking for so much and not giving yourself enough time to cultivate it. Remember that you can do a lot of work, but sometimes different areas of your life will grow and expand at different paces and different rates based on where your energy is going. So don't expect it all to boom at the same time. You're really going to need to just keep chipping away. It's the little actions, the little decisions, the day-to-day, where you're putting your faith, where you're putting your energy. And yes, it's something that you can just waste it if you want, or you can use it and put that energy into the areas that you want to build. So that's at your discretion. That's up to you, whatever it is that you're doing with your energy. Okay? Because everybody needs something different. Not everyone's going to be in the same boat. This is a general reading. So for you, the important thing is just you're going to have to cross your fingers just a little bit and trust that something else has your back, okay? Now let's get into the timeline. So we have the first, second, third, and fourth quarter. These are about 6 weeks because this is a 6-month reading. So if I divide it up into quarters, that's what it comes out to. Let's take a look at the first quarter. We have the High Priestess. This is all about your intuition and being able to let that guide you a little bit more. I think this first quarter is where you're really going to see that. This is just an invitation to trust yourself rather than getting trapped in thinking. But it's like trust your gut, trust your feelings, trust what your body is telling you. Because that's where information is stored, right? The expansion, the contraction. Sometimes fear can make stuff a little bit muddy, right? But ultimately, that's what you're going to want to do during this first quarter, and then try to follow the feeling, follow that part where you can really tap into the desire, and then you can take action accordingly rather than trying to over-intellectualize it. And then quarter two, we have the Ace of Cups. This is abundance, so that's the first thing coming up with this big fruit bowl. And there's a few things. One is self-care. That's like a big, big, big thing that's coming up here. How are you nurturing yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you filling your own cup, or do you just continue to deplete yourself over and over again and give everyone else your energy or other situations your energy? You're going to want to be really careful with that just because you need some TLC. This is a very self-nurtured card. This is also something that if you're sitting in that energy already and you are looking for partnership, right, this is a good omen for that. But it's that's conditional on your internal state. If you are in a rocky internal state, a lot of the time you'll manifest the counterpart to that. So this is about doing the internal attunement first. And that's what the Ace of Cups is reflecting here. Quarter 3, we've got the Emperor. This is like you having your power back, motivation, energy is all bouncing back. And I see this as, especially for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm getting that this has something to do with the change of seasons heading into fall, and that transition from summer to fall is actually what can help ground you and support you in whatever direction you're going. So that looks good because it's going to amplify the motivation. Even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's like the energy picks up. So for you, this would be shifting into spring. Right? You would have your spring equinox, and that instead of it grounding, it actually amplifies the heat or the temperature. So that's how you're getting more of your energy. So it just depends where you're at and what's going on, because you have the nature card on the table. So I'm getting that this second half of 2019, you might actually feel the seasonal changes a little bit more intensely because you're in sync with that. So even if you're not in a place that has really potent seasonal changes, there's absolutely an energetic shift. Then wrapping up 2019, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So maybe you have new inspiration, new clarity. I think everything that's going on during this second half of the year is kind of in service of your aligned action. So because you have the Knight of Swords in the oncoming position, and then you're wrapping up the year with the Ace of Pentacles, this is about all the work that you've done is setting you up to really expand into either a new area or double down on a project that you've started. Whatever your strategy is here, because these are 3 different strategies for that central energy, how you're going to get all of this stuff. But the Ace of Pentacles is like the, aha, this is the action I'm going to take. This is what I'm going to do. And so when you couple the self-care, making sure you come first, really nurturing that, getting grounded and clear, that's what helps you to take action. Now let's do a 3-card pick. This is an oracle deck. It is not a tarot deck. So you're welcome to ask a question. You can ask for clarity. This one you can pick as few or as many cards as you'd like. If you need extra time, you can pause the video, but let's get into card number 1. So we have the One who hides the sun. This is interesting. I don't know why this card keeps popping up in a lot of readings, but this is about getting in your own way. So a lot of either your own mental processes or your own fear, your own belief systems. That's all stuff that, first of all, it can be changed. It's malleable. It's something you can shift. And that's one side of this. But then it's also knowing that your internal light is something that you find inside. It's not something that happens externally. It's not something that's stimulated. We all know those people that have money and nice things and, you know, are surrounded by beautiful people can be absolutely miserable. We know that it's not about the external. That myth has been busted. So remember that the internal state is the most important thing that you can work on. And that's actually how you're going to get out of your own way so that you can tap into whatever it is that you're wanting in this lifetime, whatever you're creating. You're a powerful creator. That's what we've been given. Whatever situation you're in, wherever you're at, this is about making the internal tweaks. Card number 2, broken and hatched. Maybe there's something that has shattered or stepped out of your life or changed, and this is what has helped you expand. This is not a bad thing. The friction or the trauma, the rupture, whatever has occurred in the past is giving birth to a new experience, a new mindset, a new path, a new beginning. So remember that this is a very vibrant and fresh energy. I think you're going to see a lot of growth come as a result of whatever the broken piece was. There's a lot more to come as a result of that in a good way, because this is helping you to expand. Card number 3, we have the Heart Eater. Okay, so I'm actually getting that more than anything else, this is external. So you might actually be a little bit more sensitive to other people more than usual lately, or you might feel really raw. So I strongly recommend that you audit and take inventory of who you're surrounding yourself with, what media you're listening to, and what you're digesting, because what you feed your mind is beyond powerful. So you're going to want to take stock of that. Like, do you wake up every morning and start watching the news and listening to all, things that you can terrify yourself with and start to believe that the world is falling apart? Or are you surrounding yourself with things that are creating an intention and an internal belief system and structure that is going to help you and empower you? So it's up to you, but just remember that you might be a little bit more sensitive than you realize to things like that. So just check it out, take inventory, evaluate. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I absolutely appreciate you more than you could possibly know. Don't forget, if you didn't watch all 3 of your Sun, Moon, and Rising, make sure you check out your other videos. And you can check out your Mars and Venus if you're a triple sign, so if you have the same Sun, Moon, or Rising signs. But I also want to let you know, if you are interested in topics about intuition, being psychic, all things esoteric and metaphysical, check out my podcast. It is super, super awesome. I have loved doing it. So please check that out. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing. If you need to work with me one-on-one, I'm always available for you. So the description box has all of the links to work with me, as well as my meditations, my podcast, all of that good stuff. And don't forget, if you would like the mid-2019 overview love and relationship reading, those are now out on Patreon, bundled with the July reading. So you get 2 readings in one on those videos if you'd like to check that out. Otherwise, I also do weekly sign-specific readings for Patreon as well every Friday. So all of that good stuff is available to you. Check out the description box for anything that you're interested in, or if you just want some more content. And go ahead and have a beautiful rest of the year, everybody. I am sending you so much support, so much love, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.